The Veiled Lady. Part 1. A New Arrival. In a small town in England, a long time ago, something strange happened. It was the time of Queen Victoria. The streets were made of stone, and people rode in horse carriages. One day, a new person came to town. It was a woman, but she was not like other women. She wore a long black dress and a black veil over her face. No one could see what she looked like. She never spoke to anyone. She always looked down at the ground when she walked. The people in the town were very curious. Who was this woman? Why did she hide her face? Why didn't she talk to anyone? The woman moved into an old house at the edge of town. It was a big house with many windows, but the curtains were always closed. The woman never came out, except to buy food once a week. Emma was a young girl who lived in the town. She was 10 years old and very curious. Emma saw the woman in the market one day. The woman was buying bread from Tom, the baker. "Good morning," Tom said to the woman. But the woman did not say anything. She just pointed to the bread she wanted. Emma watched as the woman paid for her bread and walked away. Emma thought the woman looked sad, even though she couldn't see her face. "Who is she, Tom?" Emma asked the baker. Tom shook his head. "I don't know, Emma. No one knows. She never talks to anyone." Emma decided she wanted to know more about the mysterious woman. Part 2. The Town Gossip. News about the mysterious woman spread quickly in the small town. Everyone was talking about her. Mr. Brown, the postman, loved to tell stories about the woman. "I heard she's a ghost," Mr. Brown told people as he delivered letters. "That's why she wears a veil. She doesn't want us to see that she's not real." Other people had different ideas. "Maybe she's a princess in hiding," said Mrs. Green, the schoolteacher. "Or maybe she's a criminal running from the police," said Mr. Smith, the policeman. Emma listened to all these stories. She didn't think any of them were true. The woman didn't look like a ghost or a princess or a criminal to Emma. She just looked lonely. One day, Emma's mother sent her to buy bread. At the bakery, Emma saw Tom looking worried. "What's wrong, Tom?" Emma asked. Tom sighed. "It's the Veiled Lady," he said. "She didn't come to buy bread this week. I'm worried about her." Emma was worried, too. "Maybe we should check on her," she said. Tom nodded. "That's a good idea, Emma. But we have to be careful. We don't want to scare her." Emma and Tom decided to go to the woman's house the next day. They wanted to make sure she was okay. Part 3. A Kind Gesture. The next morning, Emma met Tom at the bakery. Tom had a basket of fresh bread and cakes. "We can bring these to the lady," Tom said. "Everyone likes fresh bread." Emma thought this was a good idea. They walked together to the big old house where the Veiled Lady lived. The house looked scary in the morning light. The paint was old and peeling. The garden was full of weeds. Emma felt a little afraid, but Tom held her hand. They walked up to the front door. Tom knocked 3 times. They waited, but no one came to the door. "Maybe she's not home," Emma said. But then they heard a sound. It was very quiet, like someone walking very softly. The door opened a little bit. They saw the woman in her black dress and veil. "Good morning," Tom said with a kind smile. "We were worried when you didn't come to the bakery. We brought you some bread and cakes." The woman didn't say anything. She just stood there, looking down at the ground. Emma spoke up. "We hope you're okay. We just wanted to check on you." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, very slowly, the woman reached out and took the basket. She nodded her head once, very slightly. Emma and Tom smiled. It wasn't much, but it was something. The woman hadn't sent them away. "We'll come back to check on you again soon," Tom said. The woman nodded again. Then she closed the door softly. As Emma and Tom walked away, Emma felt happy. They had done something kind for the mysterious lady. Maybe, just maybe, they could become her friends. Part 4. A Curious Discovery. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Tom visited the veiled lady's house every few days. They always brought fresh bread or cakes. The woman never spoke, but she always took the food with a small nod. One day, when Emma and Tom came to visit, something was different. The curtains in one of the windows were open a little bit. Emma could see inside the house for the first time. "Look, Tom," Emma said, pointing at the window. They both looked. Inside, they could see a room full of paintings. The paintings were beautiful. They showed flowers and trees and animals. "Wow," Tom said. "Those are amazing. I wonder if the lady painted them." Just then, the front door opened. The veiled lady came out. She saw Emma and Tom looking at the window. Quickly, she went back inside and closed the curtains. Emma felt bad. "We're sorry," she called out. "We didn't mean to look. The paintings are very beautiful." For a long time, nothing happened. Emma and Tom thought the lady was angry with them. They were about to leave when the door opened again. The lady came out. In her hands, she held a small painting. It was a picture of a red rose. Very slowly, she held it out to Emma. Emma was surprised. "For me?" she asked. The lady nodded. Emma took the painting carefully. "Thank you," she said. "It's beautiful." The lady nodded again. Then she went back inside. Emma and Tom walked home, feeling excited. This was the first time the lady had given them anything. Maybe she was starting to trust them. Part 5. The Letter. A few days later, Emma was helping her mother clean the house. She found an old book about the language of flowers. In the Victorian times, different flowers had different meanings. People used flowers to send secret messages. Emma looked at the painting the veiled lady had given her. It was a red rose. She looked in the book. A red rose meant love or "I love you." Emma was confused. Why would the lady give her a painting of a red rose? She decided to show Tom. At the bakery, Emma showed Tom the painting and the book. Tom looked thoughtful. "Maybe she's trying to tell us something," Tom said. "But what?" Just then, Mr. Brown the postman came into the bakery. He was very excited. "You'll never guess what happened," he said. "I have a letter for the veiled lady." Emma and Tom looked at each other. This was big news. The veiled lady had never gotten a letter before. "Who is it from?" Tom asked. Mr. Brown looked at the letter. "It's from London," he said, "from a place called the Royal Academy of Arts." Emma gasped. The Royal Academy of Arts was a famous place for artists. Maybe the veiled lady was a famous painter. "We have to take her this letter," Emma said to Tom. It might be important. Tom nodded. They thanked Mr. Brown and hurried to the veiled lady's house. Part 6. The Truth Revealed. Emma and Tom knocked on the veiled lady's door. When she opened it, they held out the letter. "This came for you," Emma said. "It's from the Royal Academy of Arts in London." The lady took the letter. Her hands were shaking a little. She opened the letter and read it. Then something amazing happened. The lady spoke. Her voice was soft and a little rough, like she hadn't used it in a long time. "Thank you," she said. "Please come in." Emma and Tom were so surprised. They didn't know what to say. They followed the lady into her house. Inside, the house was full of beautiful paintings. There were paintings everywhere, on the walls, on easels, even on the floor. The lady sat down in a chair. Slowly, she reached up and took off her veil. Emma and Tom saw her face for the first time. She was an older woman with kind eyes and gray hair, but the left side of her face had a large, red birthmark. "My name is Mary," the lady said. "I'm an artist. A long time ago, I was famous in London, but people were cruel. They made fun of my face. So I came here and hid myself away." Emma and Tom listened carefully. They felt sad for Mary. "But now," Mary continued, holding up the letter, "the Royal Academy wants to show my paintings in London. They say my work is important." Mary smiled at Emma and Tom. "You too showed me kindness when no one else did. You reminded me that not everyone is cruel. Thank you." Emma and Tom smiled back. They were happy they had helped Mary. "Will you go to London?" Tom asked. Mary nodded. "Yes, I think I will. It's time to stop hiding." Emma looked at the red rose painting. "Is that why you gave me the rose painting? To say thank you?" Mary laughed. It was a nice sound. "Yes, dear. In the language of flowers, a red rose means love and gratitude. I'm very grateful for your kindness." From that day on, Mary didn't wear her veil anymore. She became friends with many people in the town. Everyone loved her paintings. A few months later, Mary went to London for her art show. Emma and Tom went with her. They were very proud of their friend. Mary's story taught everyone in the town an important lesson. They learned not to judge people by how they look. They learned that kindness can change someone's life. And Emma and Tom learned that sometimes the most interesting stories are hiding behind a veil. All you need to do is be kind and wait patiently for the story to reveal itself. The end.